Today I would like to talk with you about healing your history. As we live in this day of anxiety and worry and concern, and we seem to be overwhelmed with this coronavirus and all the ramifications of that, and being connected to people more and more, we need some way to heal our past hurts and to deal with the current situation we're in, understanding our trauma and the difficulties of isolation and all those things. So what I want to present to you today is something about praying, meditating, and recognizing the healing that comes when we lower our anxiety, focus on Jesus and what He has to offer for us, and allow ourselves to live in a healthier, better, ongoing way. And a part of that is going back historically and reenacting past trauma with Jesus present and allowing us to hear what Jesus has to say to us. So I'd like you to think about that in light of, there's this guy, David Hendricks. He had a TED Talk called Mind is Everything. And he talked about the ability of the brain to heal, and that you can be healed. Your brain can grow and do better and be healthier. And so consider that, and then also consider that he talked about how those past traumas live on currently with you, that you, every time you go back and revisit them, your body doesn't know that you're revisiting something that happened long ago. It is something that is happening right now for you. And so a part of all this is healing those past hurts, that when they come up, you can deal with them in the healthiest possible way and no longer be so anxious with them. So Greg Boyd wrote a book called Seeing is Believing. I've read it. It's phenomenal. It's a great book, and he talks about this a lot. Terry Wardle has a book called Healing Care, Healing Prayer. And I've also linked Greg Boyd's sermon on the same topic of seeing is believing, and about your imagination in prayer, and how it is so very powerful to let yourself go with Jesus and allow Him to come to you in your vision, if you will. And your brain is amazing, because your mind is amazing, because if you imagine it, it is true for you. If you live in your imagination, then it can open yourself to the reality around you even more. So, we all probably know this verse, Philippians 4:6. If you're in church at all, you've heard it many times. Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. Now, if you are living in that and really truly releasing anxiety, walking into every single situation with prayer, petition, thanksgiving, and you're saying to God, here's what I need, here's what's happening, how can I honor you best in this moment, then there's power in that. But some people aren't at that yet because they can't not be anxious. So a part of that is going back into your history and dealing with the trauma from before. So Jesus says, take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. That's Matthew 11:29. And he's saying, in essence, understand what it is to think and behave in a way that is in my pattern of living. And so how do we do that? Well, in John 14, verses 20 and 21, Jesus said this, on that day you will realize that I am in the Father, and you are in me, and I am in you. Whoever has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. The one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I too will love them and show myself to them. So what is all that? The way that I understand that is that when we are walking with Jesus, we are no longer wrapped up in ourselves. We have let go of the self and the worry about ourselves, and we've stepped into what is healthier and better, and that would be the life of Christ. And as we live in that way, then there's more freedom. It's just healthier and better. So earlier in Matthew, he says, but seek first His kingdom and His righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. I would just like to encourage you sit down and meditate on a few of those verses, hold on to them for a little while, pray through them, and imagine yourself being with Jesus in your history, in something that was troubling you, and let it come out, and then bring Jesus into that moment and ask Jesus to heal that. If somebody hurt you, if somebody said something horrible to you, go back there and have Jesus help you to see it in the right way. And that's brought up by Greg Boyd in the sermon attached, and also in his book, Seeing is Believing. And I would just encourage you that this is a powerful way to release your anxieties about today, because your anxieties are also rooted in your past. So anyways, that's my thought for the moment. May you be blessed, and may you find healing in your heart and in your mind and in your body and in your relationships. May God love you well, and may you receive that love powerfully.